Welcome to my allotment, plot 3 in North Warwickshire. I'm sowing my seed potatoes today, which will include the Pentland Javelin. These on the experiment. My potatoes were quite small last year and I thought, well, give it a whirl. Those aren't too bad, but I'm going to plant them in 4s and we'll see how these small potatoes do. But as we all know, if you leave any in the ground, they'll always grow anyway. But it's what sort of crop we get off them. These small bags that some people throw away on the side of the road that are finished with their root balls, the old cannabis growers. So they're 16 litre pots, so I've cut a little hole in the bottom of that one, and this one will sit in the top of this one like that. And then the seed potatoes popped in the bottom about 2 inches up. Then it's topped up to look like that. So all my Aran pilots are going to be growing on the west side of the polytunnel, and the few Pentland Javelins are in there. So those 4 biggish ones will go in that one, and then the experiment ones will go in here. So I'll pop them in there. Now normally you perhaps put 2 at the bottom and then come up a couple of 3-4 inches and then put another layer in, but they're looking a little bit lost in there. It'll be interesting to see on a reveal later on in the year. My mix, so we've got the log burning ashes, that's from logs only. That's the last bit of grow more I've got. After that's gone, I shan't be using hopefully chemical fertilisers again. Bloodfish and bone. So there's a couple of handfuls of log ashes, a good handful of bloodfish and bone, and a little bit of grow more. That'll mix into about 6 inches. So that tub's had 2 lots in. So if you double that up into that dumpy bucket, which was a find on the side of the road, the builders leave them on the back of the trucks and they tend to blow off. I'll make full use of them. These root nurse containers are 39 litres and this is where I got them from. They were dumped on the side of the road down some country lane. So I've been reusing some of this compost. Mixed in with some of mine from out of my compost bin. And this has been here quite a bit longer and all the roots have rotted off, and it does make a good medium to plant potatoes in. And again, another dumpy bucket. Never have enough dumpy buckets. So I'm pleased at least I've got my first earlies in. Second earlies are a bonus, and we'll see how we get on. You didn't get me to see how I planted them last year because I think it was April the 10th that I first come onto YouTube. That'll soon be round. We'll have a look now at the netted onion cage, the one that we sewed up with the machine in an earlier episode. So that's the finished item. I've just got one piece of wood to put on just to show you how I've battened it down, but I'm quite pleased with that. We'll have a closer look. So that's the stitched sewn joints on this cage compared with the ones on the brassica cage. So vast improvement. The only mistake I made was when I stitched the two together, I didn't make sure that that was on the inside when I joined the two pieces together. But at the end of the day, that's cosmetic. And the door, very similar to last time, but this time I've cut a slit on the inside so that I can just walk through. I said to myself I wasn't going to use staples, but on your own, trying to get the net reasonably tight, but I did in the end. So just folded, pulled down, and then drop a batten on top. Hopefully now the onion moth will be deterred and hopefully go elsewhere, and the double protection for the carrot boxes. Let's go on a little bit of a tour. I've removed the enviromesh off the broad beans so the bees can actually get at them, but a lot of the flowers on the bottom half are dying off because they haven't been pollinated. But I'm quite pleased with those. The second lot of purple sprouting's coming on, and we'll have a good feed of that today. I'll be doing an update next week on this, and I've even made a note now of how many skins that I've actually put in, just to see what we get out of it. The taps are on, and what I did notice, we all know how much rain we've had, and I noticed the drums had got water in. On all the drums there's normally two little holes that drains the lid. Well, because we've put it on the inside, the water's actually running into the tank, which would dilute anything that we've got in there. If it's just a normal water butt, it's not a problem. An extra way of filling the tank. But I've put some silicone in those holes. I've potted up the broccoli and the cauliflower. I've put them in bigger pots than I would normally, mainly because they were quite leggy, so I've buried the stem. The peas are just showing their face. It's actually pushed the pea right out the ground because they've got quite big tap roots on the peas. So we've got the greyhound type cabbage, the pointed cabbage. That hadn't gone leggy, so that just stopped in one of my double yoghurt pots, so I don't disturb the roots. And that's the red cabbage, so I should have enough there. The leeks are now out of the grow room, and this is where they'll stay. I still haven't planted the strawberries yet in the tunnel. I've got the tomatoes out the grow room just to let them have a bit of fresh air, and I can't see whether you can see that because the sun's shining. There we go. And there's my second sowing of broad beans, looking really well. Salad onions, Lisbon. I'll probably leave it another 2 weeks and then I'll sow another 4 pots. The Rossa mix. Won't be long before I'm getting those planted in the tunnel. The kale and the maize lettuce. Just a little bit behind. I've got loads more seeds to plant. It'll free the grow room up, but the grow room at the moment 18.1. I should have opened the door a bit earlier, it's a little bit warm in there, but I have took the tomatoes out. And the rest of my potatoes are chitting away nicely, and they'll stay in there for quite a bit longer before I do anything with those, till the risk of frost are gone. I've got a new wormery I've set up. I've took about 200 worms out, big handfuls, into this setup. So there's 2 of those delivery boxes, one slid into the other, because at some stage I've got to get the worm castings out of the main wormery. That'll be interesting. Migrating worms. So I want to stop feeding these now, so that when I do put food in, they will migrate to the new food source. This will be something new to me, but Mumbai, balcony gardener, does a great job, and I've watched her videos, so shouldn't see there'll be any problem. What a beautiful Sunday this is, the 13th of March. Thanks for watching, everyone, commenting, subscribing, really do appreciate it. Happy growing, everyone, and take care till next time.